What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Bull Combo. I hope you guys are doing great, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Coming at you guys with yet another edition of the weekly Metaverse update, where we explore everything going on this week in the Metaverse. So I'm going to change things up this week, and I'm going to cover things in a bit of a different order. If you're looking for a specific platform, or if you want to jump ahead to a specific part of the video, you can use any of the timestamps down below in the description to do that. All right, guys, so let's jump right into this week's weekly Metaverse update. We're going to kick things off with the Sandbox. It's been yet another successful week in the world of the Sandbox. The Pororo Little Penguin land sale was held on Thursday with over 600 lands up for grabs, and all of the regular lands were booked almost immediately. If you've missed out on this sale, don't panic. While there are none currently announced, there will absolutely be more opportunities in the future. Just be prepared for the demand to stay sky high. And speaking of sky high, the Sandbox made some pretty big waves this week with the announcement of Snoop Dogg joining the Metaverse. Snoop Dogg will be joining the Sandbox Metaverse with a custom-themed land. In addition to the land, an access pass was sold. Pass holders will not only be able to visit Snoop's private land, but they'll also be able to enjoy exclusive live performances within the Sandbox Metaverse. This is very cool, guys. This is just another piece of news and what seems like brand new information every week, brand new partnerships every week, and new land sales. Just news across the board from the Sandbox. Snoop's probably the largest or one of the larger musicians to join the Sandbox Metaverse to this point. He's joining the likes of deadmau5 and Avenged Sevenfold. So I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more artists joining the Metaverse here. It provides a really cool opportunity for them to engage with their listeners on a more unique and private level. It also provides some unique performance opportunities. So really curious to see what other type of performance opportunities come about when it comes to the Sandbox. But overall, another week of very cool news. VeVe. Another busy week for VeVe. They've been having multiple drops every week, and on top of that, they had some pretty exciting news that was announced. They kicked things off with the Hulk comic drop, followed up by the Captain America comic drop, as well as the announcement of Throg, the Frog of Thunder comic drop that's set for a release tomorrow at 8 a.m. Pacific time. In addition to that, they announced yet another large brand partnership with the release of their 007 license agreement. This is going to see VeVe bringing 007 themed collectibles to the VeVeverse. This isn't too surprising given that 007 is a Universal brand and VeVe already has several other Universal brands under their umbrella. Nevertheless, it's a very large IP. Really cool to see VeVe bringing another one of those into the fold. Probably one of the biggest pieces, if not the biggest pieces of news this week, was the beginning of the Immutable X migration. VeVe is officially entering the Ethereum network with the migration to Immutable X. Immutable X is a layer 2 Ethereum sidechain. It creates a much more scalable experience with higher transaction rates and much lower gas fees. So seeing VeVe collectibles make it onto the Ethereum network is going to be a very big deal, guys. Number one, it opens it up to a whole new collector base. But number two, it allows for these to be exchanged in something other than within specifically the VeVe platform itself. Now, it looks like certain parts of the Immutable X migration are still being rolled out, so it doesn't look like it's 100% there yet. Nevertheless, it's very encouraging. It's encouraging to see that they're looking to expand this beyond just the VeVe marketplace itself. And two, that they're going with a choice such as Immutable X, because I think Immutable X is one of the best, if not the best, layer 2 sidechain solutions right now on Ethereum. Definitely shows that they're trying to position themselves to be prepared for the future, and I think we're going to see a lot more cool things coming out of VeVe here as well. Overall, this is just really exciting news for both collectors as well as holders of the OMI token, so big things to come. Earth2. So there's actually been quite a bit of Earth2 news going the last few weeks, and this week is no exception. This week we saw the release of Hollow Building map placement. So previously they released the Hollow Builder, which allowed people to go in and create Hollow Building models or Hollow Building blueprints that could be placed on the map at a later time. But we now have the ability to place these on our properties and view these in a map view. Now, there is some mixed reception because it looks like there's an accompanying fee that goes along with placing one of these buildings. A lot of people really aren't keen on the idea of having to spend additional e-dollars in order to place these buildings, especially after some of the other things that have had to be purchased to get to this point. In addition, the full benefits of hollow buildings are still sort of up in the air, and while it sounds like hollow buildings will eventually be purchasable with Essence, the current e-dollar requirements has definitely led to some less than content community members. That said, I do have to say that the recent performance within the app has greatly improved. The mobile map view seems to run quite smoothly. It's displaying mentars and buildings in real time in a 3D view. And it's definitely a noticeable improvement from previous iterations of the mobile experience as a whole. So while there have been some changes that have probably been met with mixed reception, I do think as a whole, the application experience, the performance from that application experience is definitely trending in a positive direction. When it comes to the hollow buildings itself, I have to agree, I'm not a huge fan of the placement fee itself. I do think it would have been better for them to roll this out and give the option for $E or Essence, or maybe just create some sort of free placeholder option as well, just to give people the ability to contribute in some sort of meaningful way without having to place more funds into the platform. So from that perspective, totally agree with people's stance on that. That said, I do think this is a pretty big feature, all things considered, because it's probably the first community accessible thing that's been added to the platform. I mean, to this point, we've been able to trade land, we've been able to trade jewels, and we've been able to create mentors and see those on the map. But to actually see custom buildings placed on the map is probably the biggest social style update that we've seen, even more so, I think, than the notification center and things like that. What type of benefit this will have long term, what type of additional features we'll see, those are all things that are still up in the air. Nevertheless, lots of news coming out from the platform recently, and I anticipate we're going to have a lot more information to discuss here in the near future. Dapper Labs. Dapper Labs, the company behind popular basketball NFT game NBA Top Shot, has raised another $250 million in a new round of funding. This is highlighting how investors still believe the best is yet to come for the blockchain-based behemoth. In addition to the impressive round of funding, Dapper Labs also just signed a partnership with La Liga, the Spanish Football Association. This is going to see them provide a Top Shot-like experience for the newly signed sport. And while we don't have all of the details regarding what that's going to look like, what the experience will be like, it does look like Dapper Labs expects to launch the La Liga experience in June 2022. So it looks like in less than a year, people will be able to get in there and check out that experience as well. I do imagine it will be very similar to the NBA Top Shot experience. Clearly, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Dapper Labs has seen a lot of success with NBA Top Shot. There was a lull, but recently they've seen kind of a resurgence in popularity and in value there. So interesting to see what the La Liga release looks like when they do roll that out. I know people are waiting for similar style concepts for other sports as well. Personally, I am waiting for something NFL related. Whether or not we'll see that here in the near future is still up in the air. I know the NFL is very specific about who and how they approach this. I have a feeling a lot of it has to do with money, so we're probably going to have to wait a little while longer to see that. Nevertheless, lots of sports taking this route. Very cool stuff coming here from Dapper Labs. Burger King. Yes, you heard that right, Burger King. NFT marketplace Sweet has revealed a partnership with fast food giant Burger King. The Burger King Keep It Real Meals initiative will showcase QR codes on close to 6 million meal boxes. Scanning the QR codes will unlock a digital collectible. The announcement also states that collecting them can lead to unlocking bonus NFTs. Bonus NFTs can range from 3D digital collectibles, Whopper sandwiches for a year, autographed swag, or even a call with one of the campaign artists. Apparently BK isn't the only one looking at this, as the article goes on to say that brands like Oscar Mayer, Snickers, Milky Way, Axe Body Spray, Arizona Iced Tea, and more have been dipping their feet into the blockchain conversation as well. This is something that I actually mentioned a while back that I thought was going to be several years down the road. This is a conversation I've had with people both offline as well. When it comes to things like NFT adoption, I think once we see places like McDonald's, Burger King, things like that, adopting NFTs as a replacement or an alternative to some of the more physical items that they've offered in the past, I think that's when we're going to really see a shift in the fundamental view of NFTs and the way in which they are adopted and considered. And I didn't expect this to happen quite so quickly, but Burger King, yet again, is just showing how quickly the Metaverse and NFT movement is really taking off. And they're going to be offering these custom QR codes on these meals that are going to give you the option to collect these collectibles. And I think that this is a really cool concept, not only because it falls in line with NFTs, and I think NFTs are definitely a future technology, but because it just creates a different style of engagement with these. I know historically, your kid gets a toy from McDonald's or Burger King or something like that, and they play with it for a couple days, and then it ends up in the trash, it ends up at the bottom of a toy bin, ends up never seen again. And I think this just creates an opportunity for those things to exist, but then to exist beyond when a child is, finds value in it, and it exists in a perfect sense forever. So, let's say you got this custom McDonald's NFT from this movie that came out in 2021, in 2045, you know, that NFT could be worth quite a lot just because it has a lot of collectible value to it. So I think there's a different level of collectible nature that's coming about with these NFTs, and I think we're going to see a transition when it comes to things like kids meals and stuff like that. And I very much see a point where rather than getting a physical toy in a kids meal, they're going to have a QR code where they can scan and they can bring something up on a phone or tablet and have a lot more manipulation ability than what they would have with a limited piece that they might get in one of those meals. So again, very cool things coming out of Burger King, and just another indication that the Metaverse and NFT movement is powering full steam ahead right now. NeoPets. NeoPets is set to debut its first series of NFTs on Radium. Partnering with Solana's Radium, NeoPets is gearing up to release their first series of NFTs dubbed the NFT Metaverse Collection. Each NFT will have its own background, clothing, personality, and assets. Prices are yet to be announced for the drop. I chose to include this here because I know NeoPets is a pretty large brand, and I don't believe they've really had much blockchain or NFT incorporation to this point. So to see the brand move in this direction, very cool stuff coming out of NeoPets. I didn't want to take too long to dwell on this topic specifically because I think it's pretty straightforward, but I did think it was a very interesting movement that NeoPets was taking here, and I thought it was worthy of being covered here in the update. When it comes to converting their characters to NFTs, and I imagine we're going to see more series from them here in the future, the article clearly states that this is the first series of NFTs, and I imagine it won't be the last, as they probably will experience some level of success here, especially if they're able to get this to their core market and their core user base. Alright guys, and the last update I had for this week was regarding Metaverse for Everyone. Utopia VR has announced the Apple release of their Metaverse application, Metaverse for Everyone. The Metaverse for Everyone application is a one-click, web-based, avatar-driven, and mobile-friendly audio and video conferencing platform that utilizes 3D web technology. Utopia VR's free virtual platform works on all relevant devices, PC, mobile, and VR headsets such as Oculus Quest or HTC Vive. And now Utopia VR's app is available for all iPhone and iPad users. Utopia VR's technology does not require a download or installation. Users are invited to attend a vRoom meeting. The receiver of an invitation simply clicks on a web link to access the environment. Then they can utilize the mobile app or a browser to join the experience. This is really cool stuff, guys. This kind of reminds me a little bit of Mozilla Hubs, but a more modern experience or a more modern take on that. It's a combination of, you know, a metaverse style experience meets Zoom or everyday business meeting. And I think we're going to see some more opportunities for this to arise in the near future. While there's always the ability to do this inside of an overall larger metaverse like Decentraland or the Sandbox or something like that, I have a feeling we're going to see platforms come out that are specifically geared toward teleconferencing and toward working and toward meetings and things like that. I know that this provides the ability to create and choose different backgrounds, different assets, different things to include in the meeting space to make it unique and to make it match the theme of whatever the meeting might be. So I think that this is just an extension of some of the tools that we already have available, especially with everyone working in such a remote setting right now. There's a lot of people that are working remotely. Being able to add even one extra layer of depth to the engagement that's occurring between teams right now is very cool. And I think that Utopia VR is onto something pretty special here. If they can make this as easy as using Zoom or as using Google Hangouts or any of those things, then this is going to be a surefire hit. I think we're going to have to wait a little bit longer to see exactly how it plays out, but I'm really excited to see what else comes from them and to see what other kinds of platforms roll out similar ideas like this in the near future. So that was all I had for this week, guys. We have officially hit a point where I have to pick and choose the things that I cover in these updates because there is so much going on every week. I probably would not be able to keep up on all of it and still function as a human being. So I know I've seen some people comment in the past and ask me why I haven't included this or why I haven't chosen to cover that. If I haven't included something in these updates, it's probably just because there hasn't been any recent news going on in regards to that platform. I try to search out recent news, recent developments, things that have happened in the last few days or the last week in regards to these platforms so that I really do stay true to that weekly theme here with these videos. So if you see something that's not included here, if you see some news that you think would be worthy of being included here, make sure to comment down below with that. If I think it's a big deal, I'll definitely try to include it in the next update as well, guys. So other than that, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel. I want to thank you all for watching this video. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, an excellent weekend, and until next time, we'll see you soon.